On July 2nd, 1999, the Satsup earthquake struck beneath Grays Harbor County in Washington. This was a magnitude 5.8 earthquake, about 25 miles deep, and this had shaking intensity in the area of about intensity 5, or moderate shaking. So a lot of people felt this, although it didn't do a lot of damage in the area. However, it did do a lot of damage specifically to the Grays Harbor County courthouse, which they began repairing that year in 1999. Spent about $7.8 million repairing it. But then a year and a half later, partway through these repairs and earthquake retrofits they began to try to make sure that it would not be damaged in the next earthquake, February 2001, the 6.8 Nisqually earthquake struck. We know that was a farther away epicenter, but at the same time, the shaking in that area, the intensity was stronger. This was strong shaking, intensity 6 in the same area. And there was not damage to the courthouse in this case because of the retrofitting they've done. Now, why is this important? Because when we look at the damage that happened in other places as a result of the Nisqually earthquake, we can see that there was a major success in retrofitting this building and protecting it from future shaking and mitigating it. Now let's look at some classic damage from the Nisqually earthquake. Pioneer Square, Washington. You can see the Cadillac Hotel had this very classic damage of parapets, these things that stick up above the roof, falling off into the street, and a huge pile of bricks there. Again, one of the reasons you do not actually want to exit the building you are in during earthquake shaking, because you put yourself in a lot of danger. But anyway, these bricks fall off in what are called unreinforced masonry buildings especially. But looking at this same picture, you can see that this characteristic damage is not on the unreinforced masonry building next door, but you can see these little dots on this building, which indicate rosettes. This is a place where the wall of the building has been anchored to the floors of the building so that it is more protected from side-to-side shaking that happens during an earthquake. So this building has been retrofit. The Cadillac Hotel had not. And you can see that the damage did not happen. So why is this important? Because these buildings are part of our community. They might be economic centers, they might be public service buildings, they might even be emergency buildings like firehouses and things, and we want to make sure we can use those after an earthquake. Not to mention that these bricks falling into the street are a massive danger to life safety. Some of these buildings might be homes as well, and we're going to need those after an earthquake. Not having these things makes the damage from the earthquake so much worse, and it makes a community take so much longer to recover if they don't have their homes, if they don't have their schools, if they don't have their economic centers. So we want to make sure that we retrofit our buildings now. This is called mitigation. We know that another earthquake will happen someday. We want to anticipate that, we want to protect, and even though it costs money, it is going to save money in the long term to not fix the major damage afterwards. Again, like that $7.8 million spent on the Grays Harbor County Courthouse, they didn't have to repair it twice, which would have cost so much more. So let's mitigate now. Let's retrofit our buildings, let's protect our buildings, let's protect our people, and then the next time an earthquake happens, we'll be shaken, but not stirred. Thank you.